Hello traders and welcome back to another market update. Today we're going to be taking a look at the currency market and seeing what kind of technical analysis is going on, as well as looking for major zones of support, resistance, trend lines, that sort of thing. Getting into the technicals of the foreign exchange market today. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We do see EURUSD pulling back here more, and we've mentioned this recently. We've talked about the fact that we have seen this kind of Fibonacci retracement coming into play, which is from the recent high here. We saw a sell-off on euro dollar down to this low here, and it looks like price is pulling back. We're finally reaching right now the 38.2% retracement, and we also have the 50% short distance away as well. So to me, what's interesting here on euro dollar is that we do have the overall structure turning to the downside as we did break through some of this trend line structure that we see left. You can see the market broke to the downside very convincingly, and to me, what looks pretty a good setup would be to see the continuation of this kind of downtrend that we're starting to see unfold. Now we could see some sort of reaction at 38.2, but my personal favorite level right now to look for is that 50% level, due to the fact that we have structure, if we look left in the market, up around this area as well. So to me, that looks like a potential setup for a sell trade that you could look for. Of course, trade what you see, but this is my idea. My analysis is that we see some sort of pullback or some sort of continuation once we pull back to that 50% level on this EURUSD move. Let's take a look at GBPUSD. So pound dollar here breaking to the upside, and this is interesting because we've been watching pound dollar for a little while, and you can see if price decides to keep going here, I think we have a real runner on GBPUSD that could happen. You can see that we have price breaking through the top of our range, which, as we've been mentioning, is the idea that if we see that break, we could see the continuation of this range. Now, we of course have some short-term barriers, which is going to be this recent high, which price has already tested once, and we also have this recent structure here. You can see if we clear this up and zoom in a bit, price is coming in to test that top area right now, and it looks like it's rejecting for the time being, but we will see. If you're a breakout trader and you're not already involved with the market, you could wait to see if you get some sort of break above structure and look for opportunities to go long if you find a good setup yourself. Again, that's watching GBPUSD. We are breaking the bullish flag, which, if you know what a bullish flag looks like, it has the flag, the pull or consolidation backwards, and then the idea is that we get some sort of breakout continuation and that you could potentially buy the break. So that's one thing to look at on GBPUSD. Let's talk about dollar yen here. On the 4-hour chart, we see really a choppy market back and forth. Not too much to say here. You can see we do have some levels, we have some structure here in this market, but to me, really what the market's waiting to see is if we can break either higher or lower from this kind of range that we're back and forth in. Let's take a look at Brent crude here. Brent crude this morning, we have this kind of trend line going along the bottom and continued the trend line along the top. And what this means is that we just have a ranging market to the upside, or a trading channel to the upside. So for me, when looking at Brent crude, the idea here is that we could be looking again for the continued buy pressure of this market and sell pressure along the top, respecting the back and forth market environment that we do have. So to me, there's not really too much going on with Brent crude until one of those two levels either gets violated or gets tested. WTI crude looking very similar. You can see we have the trend line along the bottom. We have a trend line along the top as well. Right, so price looks like it's coming towards the top of that range. We'll see what we can get if price can get up to that area. We have to see a break of this structure here in order to come test the top range of that, but we'll see what we can get on WTI crude. Gold is going to be our next one here, guys. Gold gapped open. You can see filled the gap really quickly, which is interesting. If we take a look at the daily chart, overall we gapped the downside there on gold. Price has been ranging to the downside here. You can see we have this downward channel going on, right? And so what we could be doing is we could be heading back to test this low again, but we also could be, at least for the time being, my bias here is that we see the continued channel to the downside on gold, right? So if we test this area, to me, that could hold as a support level short term, and we could be headed to test this area of resistance as well. That's just watching, in my opinion, watching this range back and forth is really the primary thing that I'm doing when it comes to gold. USD CAD is going to be our next one here. We can take a look at the daily chart really quick. And the daily chart's looking good because we have this kind of downward trend line that we've been talking about. And you can see prices holding it very, very nicely. If we do in fact see a push lower there on USD CAD, if we really start going, I think that our next stop would be to head back down to this structure low, right? Because we are in the context of a downtrend. We have these lower highs coming into this market, pushing price lower. And if that price holds, if we hold this lower high and we do in fact see that sell-off, I think that we might be wanting to head back to test that recent structure low, which is going to be right around the, let's see if I can move this, right around the 1.3056 level. So that will be something interesting to watch on dollar Canadian. GBPJPY is going to be our last one for the day. And let's take a look here. You can see GBPJPY also moving up similar to how pound dollar is moving, right? We have this kind of consolidation range and you can see price breaking through the highs there. And on GBPJPY, we are currently also testing the structure high at this recent level of resistance. So it will be interesting to see where price goes from here. Can we break through this level? We do have a lot of momentum to the upside, so it's not out of the question that we could see that break continue and we see the rise of GBP a little bit further. That's just my analysis, guys. Thank you guys so much. As always, make your own trading decision and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to come back and see more. Thank you guys very much, and we will see you next time.